The air in the room was heavy, thick with a scent of decay that clung to the worn velvet curtains. Dust motes danced in the single shaft of moonlight piercing the gloom, illuminating antique furniture draped in white sheets. Each creak of the floorboards sent shivers down Amelia's spine. She'd always felt a strange unease in this room, a sensation that something unseen watched her every move. Tonight, that unease intensified. A low, guttural growl echoed from the shadows, sending her heart racing. She clutched the antique silver locket in her hand, its cold surface offering little comfort. Then, movement. A figure emerged from the deepest corner of the room, its form elongated and grotesque. Long, skeletal fingers reached out, clawing at the air. Amelia screamed, the sound swallowed by the thick dust. The figure glided towards her, its eyes, if it had eyes, burning with an eerie, malevolent glow. Terror threatened to consume her. She stumbled backwards, tripping over a forgotten footstool. The figure loomed over her, its icy breath washing over her face. Just as despair threatened to engulf her, a blinding light erupted from the locket. The figure recoiled, hissing in pain. The light intensified, banishing the shadows and revealing the room in stark, unforgiving detail. The figure, now revealed as a grotesque amalgamation of decayed flesh and bone, dissolved into a cloud of dust, vanishing without a trace. Exhausted but alive, Amelia sank to the floor, the locket clutched tightly in her hand. The room, once filled with dread, now seemed strangely peaceful. The moonlight, no longer menacing, bathed the room in a soft, ethereal glow. As she slowly rose to her feet, she knew this was not the end. The evil that resided within this room had been subdued, but it would return. She had faced it once, but could she face it again? The question hung heavy in the air, a chilling reminder of the unseen forces that lurked just beyond the veil of reality.